All right, guys, we're back in the shop. I got a brand new 5-bay triple foam system here, straight from Kleen-Rite equipment, and I'm just going to do a little overview and a quick little how-to install video for you to get you up and running once you receive this from Kleen-Rite. I have the main board, our pumping board, and our solenoid board up top here. I'm going to run through this, and then I'm going to run you through the chemical storage. So once you find the desired location of where you want to mount this in the equipment room, we have 4 holes, 2 on each side of the board, that you can use to mount this back plate to the wall. Once that's done, we're going to take the cover off of the electrical box up top here. And we're going to need to pull some wires in. In the top left side of the box, we want to pull our incoming power. 120 volts supplied to the transformer. We're going to wire that in. That transformer is going to supply power to the iDeck smart relay, and that is what we are using to stage through the colors for the triple foam itself. Now that smart relay comes pre-programmed straight from us. If you ever have any issues with it or you need to get a replacement, give us a call. We'll have it in stock. So we're going to need to land our bay wiring up top on the top side of this terminal. These terminals work, you flip down the orange lever. There is a hole up top of the terminal itself that you can slide your wire down in after it's stripped, and then you're going to lock that fast, and that's going to hold that wire in place. You don't need a fork terminal, and you don't need a screwdriver to do that. The layout for this is going to be bay 1 on the far left through however many bays that you have. There are 2 terminals supplied for each bay, and that is going to be for our neutral and for our signal wire coming from the coin box itself. So once we have bay 1 through bay 5 landed, the wiring portion of this is complete. We can close that box up and move on to the next step. In a separate box, you're going to receive your air regulator setup. We send this separate so that nothing gets damaged in shipping. So once I get this pulled out of the bag, what we're going to need to do with the air regulator in this orientation, we're going to slip the bottom regulator in through the mounting bracket and tighten that fast. Now at this point we need to connect our tubing. You can see that this tube runs from up top the whole way to the bottom. This is actually in line where this regulator station needs to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip that tubing. I'm going to be able to connect my product side to the product regulator, and then I'm going to have to trim a little extra off of the air side, and I will be able to attach that as well. We want to leave a little extra slack in there because we do not want that tubing to kink. From there, we need to attach a 1/4 inch feed line. This is going to be from our air compressor to supply to the board itself. This is going to drive our flow jet pumps, and it's going to deliver the air over product out to the bay. So out to the bay, we have 1/4 inch air lines and 3/8 product lines. So for each bay, we need to run 1 1/4 inch air line and 1 3/8 product line. I would urge you to merge those at the top of the bay and not in the equipment room. What that allows to happen is the air and the product to merge directly at the boom itself, and it doesn't give it a chance to defoam at all. If it doesn't give it a chance to defoam at all from the equipment room out to the bay. If that is your only option, is to merge it in the equipment room, you're still going to get great foam out there. You can just get a better end result if you do it above the bay itself. Now that we have all of this connected, the top portion of this board is done. All right, guys, we're jumping into the bottom section of this. It's our chemical storage section. So we have this mounted to the wall about a foot below our triple foam panel itself, our delivery panel. So about a foot below that so that our draw tubes for the flow jet pumps can reach. I'm gonna walk you through how to install a HydroMinder 506. So on the HydroMinder 506 itself, we have a mounting bracket, we have our inlet water, and our eductor. We're gonna wanna grab our tips, look at our chemical, and verify what metering tip we need to use for the chemical that for the triple foam that we're gonna use in our system. Once you have that tip picked out, we're gonna screw that into the eductor itself. Once that's done, I like to connect my weighted chain and float. Now that we have the float hanging from the valve body itself, I'm gonna loosen those two thumb screws on the bracket and install this on the side of the bucket. Once that's installed, we can get our chemical supply tube down in. This could take a little bit of trimming. They come standard at this length, but we just want to make sure that we're not allowing too much tube in here that it's going to impede the float itself. That's going to slip into the outlet, slip over the outlet of the HydroMinder itself. And I'm actually going to turn this eductor back just a tiny bit. And I'm going to be able to route this down to my soap drums. This is a 9-foot hose that comes standard with the HydroMinder 506, and we're going to slip that right over the eductor. Now, you're going to need to do that 2 more times. Once you get those installed, I do recommend that you take a zip tie and put all these together just to clean that installation up and to keep everything in place at all times. The HydroMinder 506 comes standard with a 3/4 inch hose connection. Whether you're going to use a hose that you have or you're going to make your own hose up to manifold the 3 together, we sell that fitting right on the website with a barb on the other end. I recommend that you pick a couple of them up when you purchase the system to make the installation clean and simple. From there, we're going to install our suction lines for the flow jet itself. That's going to come down into the bin as well. You might need to trim this a little bit depending on your distance between the flow jet and the bins, and that's going to go straight up into that push lock fitting on the bottom of the flow jet. So you should be able to repeat this step on all 3 bins and all 3 pumps, and that'll get you to the point of setup. So after we have both boards set up, our top board, our bottom board, everything's wired in, everything's plumbed in, our soap bins are full, it's time to set the system up. You want to go to the furthest bay away from the equipment room, turn triple foam on in that bay, and let it begin to run. At that point, we want to return to the equipment room and we're going to adjust our pressures. I would say that you adjust your product pressure to about 45 psi, and you're going to want to take your air pressure, your air over product pressure, to 40 pounds. We want to keep a 5-pound difference there to start. We'll return to the bay, see what the show looks like, and make an adjustment from there if needed. After that's complete, you guys are set up and ready to rock and roll. If you have any more questions about low pressure systems, what to add to your rotary dial, or anything to do with car wash, give us a call at Kleen-Rite and we'll get you fixed up.
Kleen-Rite.